Welcome back. We're here talking about our Phillies. And since the last time we've been on, we've gone through the Brewers series, we've gone to the Padres, and we've had a loss to the Marlins. We are now 3-4 since the last show. And you notice some things are needing to be fixed by this team. And the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to that is Rob Thompson himself, Topper. He's making mistakes out here, and we'll tie it into a point later, but he's not he loves to overanalyze the game, and it drives me nuts. Like, you have a guy like Christopher Sanchez, and we're going to get into that in a minute, but he has to just let these pitchers pitch. He has to let these players play. Sometimes he overthinks it with things like Matt Strom having more than one inning, which let's just talk about this. As human beings, you have a high, an emotional high. You strike somebody out to get the inning over with, and then you go and you sit down. You go to a concert and it's a really hype up song, and then they take a break. You go do anything that gives you a high, and then you go to a low. What do you think happens to your adrenaline? It spikes and then it calms down. So let's bring it back to baseball now. And we have Strom out here getting an emotional high, striking somebody out, getting that last out for the inning, and then going and sitting on the bench and then having to come back out and pitch again. And I'm sorry, Topper, you got us to the World Series. I appreciate that. But come on, man. Even you got to recognize that it's just basic human instinct. Like, you're going to come from a high to a low, your adrenaline's going to spike and it's going to crash. You're not going to do as well. He has to play the situation better. And this is his issue. He has situational baseball mistakes. We've seen Wheeler in the World Series. We see Strom here. We see the Christopher Sanchez thing that I'm going to get to at the very end of the show. So stay tuned. Topper, get out of your own way. Let your players play, but realize in the moment that if Strom gets a big emotional out, you might have to spin the gears. You might have to change it up. You might have to go to somebody else in the next inning because he's going to peak and he's going to cascade down in energy and adrenaline, and we don't need that. So let's get to situational baseball, and we're going to hit this one really, really quickly because it kind of ties into the first point. Somebody talked to Nick Castellanos. He's in a funk again. I get it. Bases were loaded last night for Nick. And I don't know. I don't even care if the pitcher came out, put a ball on a tee. I want him to take the first pitch. It's situational baseball. You can't just swing at the very first thing you get. You have bases loaded. We're behind in the game. It's a big moment. You have to take a pitch. Put some pressure on the pitcher. All you did was give him an easy out. And that's absolutely ridiculous. You can't do that. I get you're in a funk, but I don't know if he should be the guy backing up Bryce Harper right now because teams know that he is a free swinging guy. So they'll pitch around Bryce and then they'll head to Nick. Move Nick somewhere else right now. Put somebody like a Stott, like a Bone behind him. Give us somebody who understands situational baseball just a little bit better and watch the RBIs keep flowing in. Speaking of RBIs, who knew we get to this point? But Trey Turner returns. And man, am I so happy that he is back. Like, he's just back to form. Comes back, he hits a home run, he gets a steal. I think he had 2 to 3 hits last night. I'm going to say 3 offhand. We've missed a few games because he had a kid, and congratulations, Trey. But man, did we miss him? And like, it's just an amazing story from this standing ovation to him just turning it on, and it's wild. It's absolutely wild to watch it because now we don't have just one MVP in Bryce Harper. We have 2. We have a second one in Trey Turner, and he is just dominating right now. And I hope that he can hold whatever this is, whatever is going on, hold this X factor and just bring it to the playoffs. I hope it doesn't cascade off a mountain. I hope it doesn't jump the cliff. I hope that in October we still get the same Trey because we need him and Bryce to be a 1-2 punch. We need them to be the jab cross of our team. We don't need them to be the knockout hitters. We just need them to be as consistent as possible. Yes, I want them to hit home runs. I want them to be knockout hitters. But we have a knockout hitter in Kyle Schwarber. We have little dink and dunkers in Alec Bowman, Bryson Stott. Nick could get timely doubles and home runs. Kyle gets those crazy home runs. Those 2 and Trey and Bryce, yes, they can get those home runs. But if they are off, we're out of the series, very first series, and we're done. And that's going to happen if they don't hold this pattern until October. So let's just hope that they can hold this. Let's get into a player I skipped over that. It's just JT Realmuto. And this is going to be a quick point, honestly. How is he so good on the road? but he's not good at home. Like people joke, like, "Oh, he has kids and everything," but like, do the kids not come on the road? Somebody please answer that for me in the comments. Like, do the I know they don't come to every single away series, but like, what do you think is going to happen in the playoffs? Do you think like they're not going to come? I mean, I don't know what it is about at home, but I hope JT figures it out. We won't we won't be able to be as good as we want to be if he's only good in games away from CBP. And I just think it's wild. Now, that's a quick point. We're going to get over that. Final point is let's take the damn kid gloves off Christopher Sanchez. Look, we've had so many issues. Now, last night he went 5 strong innings and we pulled him for some reason and we lost to the Marlins because of it. We're in September. Why are we protecting these players now? I get it, longevity, the future, but our window is now. There are 2 to 3, maybe 4 years that we can compete. And this kid, through all of our pitching woes with Aaron Nola and Walker losing his velocity and Ranger being injured, has just been consistent. And if the playoffs started today, he might get the ball in game 3. And all we're doing is just saying, like, we don't want you to go through the lineup the third time in a row. We don't want to watch you pitch out of a situation. We don't want to, warm your arm up to do more innings. Because let's face it, in October, with the way our bullpen has been shaky, we're going to need our starters to go deeper. And if we're not pushing this kid's arm, it's going to flame out. He's not going to be used to it. We're going to keep him on the mound in the playoffs, but not keep him on the mound the month before the playoffs. Topper, this ties back into the first point. Get out of your own way, man. The kid is pitching well. The kid was doing great. He wasn't doing anything wrong. Just let him pitch out of the situation himself. Don't make it too hard on yourself. I don't understand what you're doing here, but make it easy on yourself. Now, the Phillies have the rest of the series with the Marlins, 2 more games. We have the Atlanta Braves coming in, which is a big series. So let's hope that they don't overlook this Marlins series because they do have the Braves. But we have to get some momentum back. We were super hot in August and we were all excited. And I said it on here. We got to be careful because we might plateau too early and we don't want to do that. So this 3 and 4 over the last week's not great. We're still at the top of the wild card standings, which is nice. It's time to get hot. We got about 2-3 weeks left of the season. Let's get hot again. Remember, '07 Colorado Rockies. That's what I'm kind of looking for. That's who I base the peakness of quote unquote hotness going into the playoffs. If we could get to that level of hot with this level of talent, we're going to be unstoppable. Thank you for checking out the Phillies Weekly Recap again. Now, I want you to like, comment, subscribe, share this thing. Let's be a community about it. Let's watch our Phillies. Let's ring that bell. Let's get some wins, damn it, because I'm tired of coming on here at 3 and 4. Let's win some games. Let's ring that bell.